So I woke up this morning, and like the first thing I hear, like the radio, I woke up by the radio, my alarm clock or whatever, and stuff like that. And I usually go on I'll wake up and look at my phone real quick on like Facebook and shit like that. You know what I missed while I was asleep and shit like that. So I wake up this morning and I just wake up to the news that Chris Cornell, from lead singer Soundgarden and Audioslave and stuff like that, is dead. I was like, wow, that is like. I was actually pretty upset to hear that news because Chris Cornell was like probably had to be one of my favorite singers, if not my favorite singer like ever. That dude's voice was just it was fucking godlike. I'm not even gonna lie, and stuff like that. I liked Soundgarden. I liked Audioslave. I listened to some of his solo stuff, not a lot, but what I heard, I liked. It was like good stuff. And to wake up and hear that was pretty damn devastating. I was pretty upset. I mean, I wasn't like well, fuck. I almost did shed a tear. I don't know. Shed a tear. Shed a tear. No cheering. Almost said a cheer, but fuck. I said it again. You know what I'm trying to say. Now, I usually don't get that upset over celebrity deaths or talk about it that much. You hear them, and like I'm like, wow, that guy died. Well, that sucks, but this one actually kind of hurt because Soundgarden, I think, was one of those bands that really just helped me along in my life. I'd be sitting, I like other bands too and stuff like that, but you hear songs, you hear certain bands, and it's just like, it just helps you through sometimes tough times, reminds you good shit like that. It's music. A lot of people feel like that about like a lot of bands. And so I first, believe it or not, I first discovered this band. And unfortunately, by the time I discovered them, they were already pretty much broken up at the time. But the first place I heard of them was, believe it or not, from the Sega CD version of Road Rash. And they had a couple songs in there, and I liked them. I thought, wow, these songs are kind of cool. But I didn't really know who they were. Yeah, I knew the title. Oh, Soundgarden. Who's that? I don't know, but they played good music and shit like that. And I think one of my favorite songs on there was Outshined by them, and I thought it was pretty cool. So one day, but I didn't really listen to radio back then, so I didn't know a lot about music and stuff like that. I didn't know a lot of bands. I mean, honestly, I didn't. I feel stupid now not knowing this shit, but I knew a lot of. But I heard them and I thought they were great and shit like that. And then eventually, I started learning things. I started listening to radio. I'm hearing them. I'm hearing all these other bands. But Soundgarden's like one of the ones I'm hearing. I'm like, oh fuck, it's that fucking game. It's that band I heard from that game. Fuck yeah! And I started really getting into it. I'm getting songs and downloading songs. Never mind. But anyway, I'm getting songs like that, and I thought it was really cool. But I was it kind of sucks. This band's not together anymore. So I really like them. But it happens. They break up. And then, a couple years later, I hear they're actually getting back together. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they're getting back together. I wonder if they do a concert. I look it up. Sure enough, I find out that, not too long from then, there's a fucking concert. I'm like, oh my god, they're doing a concert. I'm texting my friend, dude. And, the tickets are pretty good, too. Good price. I'm like, dude, fucking Soundgarden concert, let's go. And shit like that. And I went. It was awesome. I thought it was fucking great. And I just, I just like Soundgarden. I liked Audioslave. I bought some Audioslave CDs. I'm like, they're pretty good. Yeah, Soundgarden was better than Audioslave, but Audioslave was still pretty good. They had a lot of songs that I liked, and shit like that. I think What You Are is one of my favorites from them, from Audioslave and shit like that. I wake up this morning. Anyway, so yeah, that's my little history. I wake up this morning, unfortunately, and hear that the dude is dead. And at first they're they don't know what happened. They're like, well, how did he die, or shit they weren't caught, they weren't sure. It was kind of weird because they did a show that night, and then a couple hours later they found him dead in his hotel room, and now they're saying it looks like he kind of killed himself, he hung himself. So it's kind of weird, when you think about it that way. Did it happen? I don't fucking know. They're saying the cause of death was suicide by hanging, and it's just kind of weird when you hear about that because here you got this guy. They're doing this tour. They're on tour and shit like that. Just doing a show. I'm guessing everything is going along just fine. And then the guy does a show one night, last night or whatever, and says, "Okay, that's it. And he just goes to his room. And it's just like weird when you think about it. Like damn, he fucking killed himself. Like what happened? You know, like part of me wants. A lot of people say, no, there's no possible way he did that. And I'm kind of hoping that's true too. Like there's got to be more to this than we think. But at the same time, it's like possible it happened because you don't know. Like you don't know. You don't know. Like as far as I know, I don't think there are any signs except one, but I'll get to that in a minute. It's like you don't. It's just weird that you don't see it coming, and then all of a sudden they find him dead, apparently by suicide, that same night. And it's like, you don't know how these things happen sometimes. Sometimes they leave clues and people ignore them. Maybe he did. Maybe they left clues and people ignored them. They weren't sure. And like the weird part about it is, and I can't confirm this. If somebody can, let me know. Is like I think the last song that they played that night was a cover version of "My Time of Dying" by Led Zeppelin. And I'm thinking like, I hear that, I'm like, was that the clue? Was that like him saying goodbye or some shit like that? I don't know. It's like, it's just the whole thing just seems weird, and I'm just kind of sad to hear that he passed, because he was one of my favorite singers. Like, loved Soundgarden, loved Audioslave. Some of the solo work was pretty good too, and yeah. So I'm actually sad about it. I'm legit sad about this guy's death. I mean, there are very few celebrity deaths that I would really be like, fucking hey, you know, like I said, there's some celebrities dead all the time, and like I do feel bad about all of them. At least even if I didn't like them, I'm like, well, that kind of sucks that they died. I mean, even if I don't like them, I don't want anybody to die. But at the same time, and he was only like 52, so it was weird. So he was young. It's not like he was like a lot of these celebrities dying. I mean, it's sad they're dying. Let's face it, a lot of them are like fucking old. But I'm going again, some of them weren't dying of old age, or dying of like cancer and shit like that. So that's also sad. So yeah, kind of fucked up that like they're dying and you don't know. It's like weird, but you know. Like, I find out these celebrities dying, like, they had cancer? What the fuck? So, but it wasn't, unfortunately, well, no. It wasn't cancer that took Chris Cornell's life. It was himself, apparently. And I don't know. We'll ever know why. I don't know. Maybe maybe we'll find out. Maybe he left a note somewhere. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird that, like, it sounds like at the time, like, currently the dude was on top of the world, and then he just jumped off. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, like, whatever demons were haunting the poor guy, I do hope he found peace in this. And I feel bad that one of my musical icons, somebody that I really like admired and like just like to listen to, is gone. And at least I can say I have the memory that I've been to a Soundgarden concert, and I'm happy about that. I really am. But at the same time, it's kind of sad to see him go. So I don't know. I just want to talk about that real quick because I want to get that on my chest. You know, I've been talking about this, like thinking about this all day. I had to go to work. You know, a couple people we're talking about and shit like that. But like, anyway, so gonna miss you, man. Your music was definitely something that helped me in my life when I needed it. And yeah, so sorry to say about that. And Rock in Paradise, you beautiful bastard.